Hey, it's the Dragon here. I got some Walker's shortbread. I got a cup of coffee. I had to go out yesterday and get some hand cream. I'd run out of hand cream and stuff. That was driving me nuts. Walked down to Welby's, I think, or whatever it is, down Congress Street here. Get a bunch of stuff. And finally, I bought a new coffee maker. Which people who follow these things know that my coffee maker died quite early on in this imprisonment thing that we're going through. You're in there for your own good, damn it. And my friend Vicky from upstairs, she's a great person. You know, one of us is left, one of us is right. And we always get along. That's the way the world should be. Really should. She loaned me a coffee maker that was on its last legs. Her kids gave her a new one for Christmas. So had that for a while, and it conked. It went, the heating element went, and I tried taking parts from the two of them, putting them together, and nothing worked. So for a couple of weeks I've been boiling water and pouring it through one of the deceased coffee makers to make coffee, then nuking it in my microwave, which I believe my friend Audrey Gear gave me. Correct me if I'm wrong, Audrey, but I don't use the microwave that much, but boy, it's kind of bailed me out. So here we are, sitting in the studio, Walker's shortbread, nice cup of coffee, peace and quiet, which is kind of cool. Transcribing. I've got to reset, my monitors and stuff because my eyes are I'm getting computer screen eye. I got to get a little bit further back or dim. I guess I can probably dim. That's an audio program monitor, so I can dim those two back there so they're not quite as glaring. I don't have to have high resolution on those since I'm just working with audio waves. But working with putting this up is nice. I've got just about 50 songs transcribed. Started out with some Andy Stewart, Dancing in Kyle, Donald Where's Your Trousers, Muckin' at Geordie's Fire, all the classics, White Heather Club. Went from that to, what did I do? Jimmy Shand, the great immortal Jimmy Shand, Scottish Dance, Strict Tempo Orchestra, Scottish Dance. From that I went to Elsa Lanchester. It's not Lancaster, it's Lanchester, which is why I have a hard time. And she was, I guess she was in The Bride of Young Frankenstein, which I didn't really realize, or The Bride of Frankenstein. One of those. She played a Frankenstein character, which I didn't know, but she's a Cockney music hall performer, red hair, green gown, playing the piano, singing these bawdy songs, I put one up on Facebook. Not that I recorded, because I seem to have been having trouble, putting my little radio teasers up because they take it as copyright music, even though a lot of this stuff's out of copyright. And that won't be a problem. That's why I decided not to go with the YouTube venture on this, but to actually go with a paid-for license automated radio. They take care of your licensing and the royalties and stuff like that, and you pay a fee and then you get money back. So this is going to be a commercial venture. For the love of it, it's great. When I was in radio, it's funny because I was thinking the other night, my first job in radio, I took over the overnights at a little station, Top Sugarloaf. We were major market, fringe. 50,000 watts, the second best transmitter site in New England, and a ragtag crew. One of my first paychecks, I went to get the envelope out of my box at the station and opened it up, looked inside, it was empty. So I went to the station, the program director, Kent Thurston, who had come from a Boston station, the one that had, I don't know, did classical stuff. But he was doing rock and roll up there. I said, Kent, I got my envelope, but there's nothing in it. And he goes, damn it, they did it again. And he opens up, he was prepared. Opened up his desk drawer, pulled out a great big wampum flathead screwdriver and a big hammer, and said, I'll get you your money. Walked out back to the Coke machine, and just like wham, 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 and forced it open. Took the coin box out. Says, how much do they owe you? And it wasn't that much. I mean, whatever it was, he made it up out of the coin box. That was great. But it was the end of the disco. Disco had just flopped and was going away. And the station was automated, but going back to live. So my first job in the station was running the automated radio program all night long. And it was in a booth, you know, the size of a galley kitchen. I think there were 6 of these big tape machines and sequencers and stuff like that with the great big reels. And it, you know, it'd play the songs, and it would cue the commercial, and it would cue the station ID and all of that, you know, which got me started. You know, it was kind of fun. I mean, especially in retrospect, looking back now, because that's what I'm doing here is, you know, 40 years later, setting up a automated radio station. They explained the system to me. They trained me on the system. I remember it very well. And said, yep, we're all set, all good. They said, now watch, you know, make sure you watch the reels. Don't let a reel get empty. I said, yep, okay. So they all left. It's after midnight. I'm standing there. All of a sudden, I catch movement in the booth. And it's 2 reels of these big tapes going, just throwing the tape all over the place because I didn't catch it right. So I ran in, I shut the thing down and slapped some more reels on. But it was good. You know, then we went into, you know, the live radio, which was great. Being a live overnight radio jock was a lot of fun. I get away with stuff. God, did I get away with stuff. We got bought out by a company in Canada, and they sent, you know, their hot shots. Well, they were nice guys, but they were kind of young hot shots down to pull this station out of the dumps. And they used to send down these, you know, directives, you know, that all radio jocks will do this. No exceptions. It was always no exceptions. Well, I was working the overnight. You know, we were struggling for advertisers. And afternoon drive, morning drive, would get the advertisers. Overnight, you know, it was a mercy. A mercy, you know what I mean. But it was beautiful. And the musicians loved it because I used to do a musician's hour. Right about 2 o'clock when I knew they'd all be driving back from the bars and stuff. And I'd play some really obscure stuff, some extended things, and I was really appreciative. But they sent down this directive, says, when you do the news, I did like the 1 o'clock in the morning news, and then there wasn't news again until, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, when I went home. The directive says you will use this format when you do your news. And the format was, you know, you give your station ID, you say this is the news, it's sponsored by such and so, then you play their 30-second spot, and then you do the news. Then you do another outtake, this has been the news, sponsored by, you say the advertiser's name, and then you play the 30-second spot, come back with the weather, and you end it the same way. So it was like, and right on the top it says, every Every radio jock will do this. No exceptions. So I didn't have any advertisers for my show. So pulling up on 1 o'clock, and as it turns out, one of the big bosses was listening, which is perfect. So pull up on 1 o'clock, this is W blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah. And here's the 1 o'clock in the morning news, sponsored by absolutely nobody at all. And here's a word from our sponsors. And I potted it down for exactly 60 seconds. And I brought it back up, right without missing a beat. Went into the news and got to the end of the news. This is 1 o'clock news, brought to you by absolutely nobody at all. Here's a word from our sponsor. And I potted it down for another 30 seconds. And right on the second, I potted it back up with the weather and took it out the same way. Well, the next day, there was a note from me in my box that says, that's okay. Just do the news like you have to do it. They got my point. This is the news sponsored by absolutely nobody at all. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I ran into somebody that remembered me doing that, which was kind of exciting. So anyhow, I got to get back. I've gotten through a bunch of stuff, and I'm on to transcribing some English folk dance tunes, sword dances, Morris dance, done by Telemann. Telemann's kind of cut and dry, but they're nice short clips. They're going to be good to stick in between. It's nothing it's just too precise. People never played like that until they started calling themselves societies. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous music, but it's too automated. It's too automated. It's too automated. It's too automated. I'm the dragon. I love you all. Have a happy Monday. Onward.